Hi guys, it's Jolene. This week in church, we're going to celebrate World Communion Sunday. That means that almost every church in the whole world is going to be celebrating communion that day. That's really cool. So this week, I'm going to share a book about communion with you all. It's called Gathered at the Table, Celebrating Communion. It's written by Glenys Nellist and illustrated by Anna Komzimi. It's published by Zonder Kids. Communion is a beautiful, holy, mysterious gift. When we gather at the table to share bread and wine, or juice like we do at our church, God's invisible spirit hovers in the air, just like it did over 2,000 years ago when Jesus gathered with his disciples in the upper room. It was evening in Jerusalem. Jesus knew he didn't have long. What could he do to help his friends remember how he had lived and loved? Jesus did something very special. In the quietness of that room, Jesus called his disciples to the table. As they watched and listened, Jesus took bread, gave thanks, broke it, and gave it to each of them. Then he took wine, poured it out, and gave that to his disciples too. His disciples were like his followers. That means that they learned from him like he was their teacher. And as Jesus did, Jesus softly said, "Whenever you eat bread, remember me. Whenever you drink wine, remember me." Called to the table to share the wine and bread, "I want you to remember me," Jesus softly said. Ever since that night, Christians all around the world are called to the table too, as we celebrate communion and remember Jesus. We hear the mysterious words Jesus spoke to his disciples. "This is my body, broken like so many bodies are broken. Every time you eat it, do this in memory of me. This cup is full of my love. It is poured out for you." And we wonder what those mysterious words might mean for us. We think about the mystery, the words that Jesus said, and how he lived his life as we break the bread. There are different names for this special meal. It can be called Holy Communion, or the Lord's Supper, or the Eucharist. The bread can be one large loaf or little wafers. The wine or grape juice can be in one large cup or little ones. We may gather around a table, kneel at an altar, or stay in our seats. But no matter what the special meal is called, and no matter how we receive it, we remember as we take communion that Jesus loved the world. What wonderful love. Gathered at the table, God's Spirit in the air, we drink the cup of blessing, the bread of life we share. Some children in some churches attend a special class to learn all about communion and what it means. Their first Holy Communion is a very special, exciting event, and all the family celebrates. In other churches, even babies are welcome to take communion. But no matter how old we are, whether we attend a class or not, we know that in communion we are one family, joined together in the love of Jesus. Together in communion, one family, young and old, we celebrate together as ancient words are told. When we get ready to take communion, Jesus knows exactly how we feel. If our hearts are heavy or sad, if we've messed up or feel unloved, Jesus knows. And as we reach out for the bread and wine, Jesus reaches out to us and fills us with love, forgiveness, and hope. There's room at the table, no matter how we feel. Jesus reaches out to us in this holy meal. As we leave the communion table, God's presence goes with us. We step out into the world, reminded of how Jesus taught us to live and love. We rise from the table, wrapped in the goodness and grace of God, forgiven, loved, and called to share the love of Jesus, however and wherever we can. We rise from the table, forgiven, loved, and free. We leave to be the people who God calls us to be. One special day every year, millions of Christians all around the world celebrate World Communion Sunday. That's going to be this Sunday. Indoors and outdoors, in churches and homes, in cities and on farms, by lake shores and under tents, people remember Jesus as they break bread. The bread might be brown or white, large or little, flat or fluffy, but the color and size and kind don't matter. What matters is that just like the different breads, each one of us represents one big, beautiful, diversely different family gathered across God's globe to remember Jesus. On Sunday, we'll talk about some different kinds of breads. Gathered at the table, surrounded by God's grace, we are one Christian family in every time and place. No matter how or where or when communion is celebrated, Jesus stands at the head of every table, reaches out his hands, smiles, and says, Come to the table. And it closes with some words from the Gospel of Luke. It says, people will come from east and west and north and south. They will take their places at the feast in God's kingdom. So, communion is a special ritual that we do at church that helps us to remember Jesus. Now this month, we're talking about forgiveness. And communion is one of the ways that we know that God forgives. Just like maybe sometimes you do something that maybe you're not supposed to do, or you make a mistake, or maybe you fight with your brother or your sister or something like that. And you know you didn't maybe do a very good job that day, but God always forgives. Kind of just like your parents forgive you, right? Your parents, your moms, your dads, they want you to be better, right? They want you to be a good person. But they forgive you when you make mistakes. And like if you made a mistake one day, or maybe if you got in trouble at school, your parents would still give you dinner, right? Because your parents forgive you and they want you to be strong and good. And to be strong and good, you need to eat your dinner, right? We need to be healthy. And just like that, God's meal is a reminder that God loves us, just like our parents love us. And God forgives us, even if we make mistakes. Okay? I'll see you next time.
Everyone, everywhere in the world, and all throughout time, in the ancient past and in the faraway future, has a heartbeat, just like you. All people love and live and feel. All people tell stories to make sense of it all. Let's keep telling stories to honor the past and help create the future. I'll see you next time.
We Gather at This Table by Anna V. Ostenso Moore is also a great book about communion.